Good evening and welcome. Let's take a look at our top story that we're tracking for you. Russian President Vladimir Putin is all set to visit India on the 6th of December. This is for the annual summit between the two countries. Now, Putin will meet Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in their first in-person meeting since BRICS summit in November of 2019. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu will also visit India around the same time for the first 2+2 ministerial dialogue between the countries. The visit comes amid the reports of Russia starting the supply of S-400 missiles to India. The delivery of these missiles brings with it the risk of possible sanctions by the United States under the 2017 Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, or the CAATSA. When WION's Susan Tehrani asked what the Russians' UN envoy, what this visit and partnership means for the country, this is what Dmitry Polyansky had to say.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Susan Tehrani from WION News, India. President Putin is expected to visit India and meet with Prime Minister Modi. What kind of partnership is Russia looking to establish with India, considering India's proximity to the United States? Thank you.
Well, I wouldn't say that India is characterized by kind of proximity to the United States, and I don't think even Indians would say that you are right, because they always tell us, and we believe them, that they want to be, I would say, independent and not relying on this or that superpower. So they want to have the freedom of maneuvering, which we respect. India is an extremely important country. Everybody wants to have relations with it. You said that we want to establish a partnership. That's not true, because we already have a partnership. We want to reinforce this partnership, of course. So our relations date back to the early years of Indian independence, and we were always supportive of this country, and we still have a lot of friends there. A lot of Indians speak Russian. Indian movies are very popular among young Russians, and they know the stars of Bollywood. So this is kind of very, very intimate proximity at the level of people-to-people contacts. At the political level, well, I wouldn't overestimate the picture that some try to portray as India drifting away from contacts with Russia. Well, India is participating in certain US-led initiatives which are very questionable to us, like Quad, for example. But at the same time, India is always saying that they don't want to participate in anywhere which is anti-China, I would say. So at the same time, India is a member of BRICS, which is a very important group for the whole world, and which exists for many years already, which has proven its usefulness and its influence in the world. In the BRICS, India interacts with China, with Russia, with Brazil and South Africa, and we think that this cooperation deserves reinforcement. So we view the importance of both bilateral relations with India and multilateral relations with India. We listen to the explanation of our Indian partners. We don't see, frankly, a lot of things to worry about. India is a big country. It has to have diverse foreign policy, and nobody expects India to align with this or that pole, I would say. So we are engaged in very intensive dialogue, which we value very much, and I know that our Indian partners are also of high opinion of this dialogue. We have regular consultations, and we are very eager to continue like this. I think the whole world will benefit from this.
Now, for more updates on this, our correspondent, Susan Tehrani, is joining us live from New York. Good evening to you, Susan. Now, firstly, it seems the Russian ambassador wanted to focus on two main aspects of Indian-Russian partnership as a whole. Can you tell us about that?
That's right, Alison. He really stressed on the continuity of Russia and India relations and not just this recent visit by Vladimir Putin. And when I said what kind of relationship would you like to establish while I was referring to this recent trip, he said that we're just reinforcing our relationship and really took a trip down memory lane, if you may. He focused on two issues. One, people to people, as we just heard, talking about how Russians, notably the youth, even know the name of Bollywood stars, on a lighter note. And then he really went into the political aspects of the relationship between the two, and it really didn't hold back, saying that perhaps, there is a cause for concern because of alliances that India holds with the United States and in like the Quad and whatnot, but really talked about the reinforcement of relationship that it has, and tried to set the record straight about the interpretation that some might have that India-Russian relations are quote-unquote drifting apart. He said India is an extremely important country. We are partners. India and Russia are not drifting apart. India has an independent foreign policy from any other country. India is a large country which has a diverse foreign policy, and he said that as a member, both countries being member of BRICS, it really has proven its influence, and that the cooperation deserves reinforcement at a bilateral level and a multilateral level in all forums. He also said that we have high opinion on this dialogue, and he said that they don't take the issue of quote-unquote or the sort of murmur that's going around that the partnership between the two is drifting apart very seriously. He really wanted to reinforce that.
Absolutely. Now, Susan, are we expecting any reactions by the United States under the 2017 Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act in terms of the S-400 missiles that Russia is expected to supply to India?
So that's supposed to go under the NDAA, which is the National Defense Authorization Act, which will be finalized possibly after Thanksgiving. As you know, there was sort of a delay in an agreement between both sides. There are a lot of provisions that need to go into the NDAA. Senators like Republican Senator Ted Cruz has said that, specifically this purchase of these missiles should be taken out of those Sanctions Act. He has written a letter to President Joe Biden. We'll have to see whether the president adheres to that letter or not. But we are in the week after Thanksgiving, so let's wait and see how and when, whether or not these provisions will be taken into consideration when the National Defense Authorization Act is finalized for the next year.
Absolutely. Susan, thank you very much for bringing us all the latest details on this upcoming meet.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.